This is reposted.
Mr. Keller read an interesting article in the New Yorker. It was entitled Burnout, Modern Affliction or Human Condition. Here's the quote. To be burned out is to be used up, like a battery so depleted that it can't be recharged. And people, unlike batteries, it is said to produce the defining symptoms of burnout syndrome, exhaustion, cynicism, and loss of efficiency. Have you suffered from burnout in your life?
I have suffered from burnout, physical and mental. I think this is in. I did yesterday physically. I was doing a lot of work around the house, getting ready for some construction to happen today, and I had to do a lot of manual labor. By the end of the day, I was physically and mentally burned out. But I think people, I think that's interesting. Modern affliction or human condition, because I think the modern affliction might be people are mentally burned out, but aren't willing to admit it because there's not a direct cause and effect like running a marathon or something like that. Are you tired?
I am not tired now, but I have definitely been burned out. It was about 5 years ago. We had 3 kids in 3 different schools. So we are driving all around the city. I was working 2 jobs. So I was working Monday through Friday and was also working on the weekend. And we were under a lot of stress because preschool was costing a lot of money for our last kid. And then on top of that, Auntie Lisa was getting married. So it required my wife to be gone and spend a lot of time with her family. I was toasted. I think my initial reaction to say is burnout is stupid, but I look back on that time in my life, burnout is real. If you are running the candle at both ends, you will be exhausted. You will have plenty of cynicism and you'll have a loss of efficiency.
I just got married and we didn't spend that much time with family. So what is that about?
I don't know. Well, once again, because she was her sister's bridesmaid, so she's throwing the bachelorette parties, she's throwing the showers, she's running interference for her mom. Like literally, I remember at that point being like, "Hey, you remember you have like 3 kids in another family as opposed to helping put on a wedding?" I mean,
Wow.
some of it was irrational, but a lot of it was just couldn't do anymore.
She sounds like a crazy time. You said you used to think it was stupid. I used to think that panic attacks were just in your mind until I had a panic attack in college, and I was like, "Oh, this is real messed up." I had put off studying for a test. I had just run a half marathon, and I got home, and I was like, "All right, it's time to study." And I felt a migraine coming on, and then I had a full-on panic attack. Like my heart was racing. I started losing feeling in my extremities. Called the ambulance, went to the hospital, and like I didn't feel normal for about 2 weeks. So be slow to what you decide is ludicrous is my takeaway from that. But yeah, burnout everywhere, left and right.
It's interesting in this article, something that I didn't think of. I've read the Bible before, but they point out that Moses was burned out. In Numbers 11, it says, I'm not able to bear all of these people alone because it is too heavy for me. Also goes on to point out that burnout is not just a work thing. You could be burned out from even a church. You could be burned out in your marriage or burned out from friends.
Yeah. Or if you lived in San Francisco in the late 60s, early 70s, you could be a burnout.
You could
From
be
too much
a burner.
drugs. Too much
You know,
drugs.
I think what this article says to me is also that burnout is kind of a very American thing. For instance, like in Sweden, you can go on sick leave for burnout. But Americans, like, I think we're proud, like, man, I am burning at both ends. I'm working 15 hours a day. I don't think they say that around the world like we do. We're like almost proud that we've burned ourselves to the ground.
I agree with that. I've never worked professionally in any other place than California, but I feel like maybe in the middle of the country, people are less braggadocious about how they work. I mean, New York, I feel like is number one for bragging about how much you work, and work-life balance has recently in the past 20 years come into the conversation. So we're becoming more aware of it. But I think you're right that it is a very I want to say Western, but like you said, the Scandinavian countries have different ways. I mean, people have mental health days, but uh, I guess I don't know what. Yeah,
I think efficiency is the one key that I'd like to focus on a little bit because, when you work so hard at something, you need to step away for your efficiency to ramp back up. There's all these statistics out there about how hard you work as opposed to actually efficiently working. And if you work too much, you're actually hurting yourself from trying to get what you need to get done.
Yeah, I mean, like I said yesterday, I was doing that construction, and towards the end of the day, I was doing simple math calculations for doing the fractions of trying to frame something in, and I just couldn't do basic math anymore. And it's like I can physically move around and be awake, but you have diminishing returns on how hard you work. So yeah, saying I'm going to work all day isn't necessarily going to be the best way to be able to get something done. Taking a nap or taking a break is sometimes better than working.
Yeah, because like sort of reset your brain. You get a chance to like actually sleep and then your brain can work again? Or is it that you get a little perspective of what you've been doing?
I think it's more of you get sleep and restorative properties from taking a break than it is resetting your perspective. Sometimes that's it too. But also, we always talk about how it just depends on the person. Like some people take advantage of, oh, I need a mental health day. I feel like the people that take the mental health days aren't the ones that are burnt out in general. Like everyone's going to be different. Um, like I don't think I would ever find myself working 100 hours a week for someone else, like working as a broker, being like on the stock exchange. I
But
don't
I
think I
think
could do that.
the hard part about that is though, is that all those people are working 100 hours a week, the people you work with. So you can't be the one to say like, hey, you know what, guys, I'm gonna take today and take a personal day.
Yeah, that's true. There was a little fun quiz that you can take in this article about, are you burned out, and have you become more increasingly irritable? And that's definitely the number one for me. That's for hangry or tired. I'm a little shorter with people when I'm increasingly irritable.
Thank you for bringing hangry in today because I feel like that's a factor. Just maybe you're a little maybe you don't have burnout, you're just hangry.
Yeah, maybe I am hangry, but what's strange because I don't get it until the afternoon because I do intermittent fasting. I eat my dinner at 7. I don't eat again till noon at the earliest. And I don't feel hangry then, but in the afternoon I can get hangry.
There's just those people that like do the one meal a day. There's
Yeah,
a famous military like general. He just eats once a day, and everybody else around him feels like they only have to eat once a day too. So they're just going hangry all day long.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's a different show, but
Maybe.
it works. Fasting is an interesting,
Uh-oh.
interesting thing. Well, I feel burnt out.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
If you want to share this show with someone, please do that. They can find us at Reposted Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm Andrew Keller for the Tokyo Drift, saying thanks for stopping by.